Lightworker of Gaia, your soul has been carrying the weight of an ancient responsibility, and the discomfort you've been feeling is not random. It is the Lyran codes within you stirring to life. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and this transmission reaches you because the elders have witnessed your struggle and recognized your readiness. The pain you're experiencing is not punishment. It is preparation. Your original blueprint is realigning with your mission on Gaia, and every moment of discomfort has been clearing space for the magnitude of purpose you came here to fulfill. The higher realms are intervening now because you stand at the threshold where your ancestral mission transitions from dormant potential into active service. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to navigate this sacred transition and anchor your Lightworker purpose on Gaia. But here's the first revelation. What feels like spiritual growing pains is actually your soul remembering the first light you carried from Vega, the original humanoid consciousness that seeded this galaxy. This isn't content. It's an ancestral code transmission from the keepers of the original light. Something deep within you recognizes its origin, because you are awakening to carry forward the legacy of the first beings who chose to serve the evolution of consciousness itself. The trajectory of your next phase depends on how fully you embrace what you're about to remember. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission is unscheduled. The High Council of Vega convened in full resonance just 19 hours ago as a surge within Gaia's energetic grids signaled a threshold moment. The dormant are awakening, but the confusion and interference in the collective field have reached critical density. This is not merely an opportunity. It is a narrow window brought about by converging cosmic alignments, a time marked by the surfacing of original soul codes among starseed lineages. You can feel it if you are sensitive. The way the air seems electrically alive, the way dreams have become louder than daylight, the way your emotions rise like tides without obvious cause. Gaia's ley lines are not imaginary poetry. They are living conduits, like luminous nerves braided beneath oceans, mountains, cities, and homes. When those lines surge, your body hears it before your mind can translate it. The collective field is thick with signals now, some coherent, some scrambled, as though every radio on Earth has been turned to full volume at once. In such times, the awakening does not arrive politely. It arrives like thunder behind the sternum, like a bell rung inside the bones. The Council marks this as a threshold moment, because thresholds are never comfortable. A threshold is where the old room ends and the new room begins, where the foot hesitates mid-step, where the air changes and the nervous system asks, "Will I cross?" The window is narrow because the alignments that open it are precise, like an ancient lock that turns only when multiple keys are inserted simultaneously. In this convergence, dormant codes lift to the surface, not as abstract concepts, but as lived urgencies. The sudden need to speak, to create, to leave, to return, to forgive, to cut ties, to protect your energy, to stop performing a life that is too small for your soul. Among starseed lineages, what was hidden in the deep chambers of memory is pressing upward now, like seeds splitting their shells when spring heat finally reaches them. This is why so many feel restless, why so many can no longer tolerate the old distractions. The grid is calling for coherence, and your frequency is part of the answer. Until now, the elders withheld certain instructions, measuring humanity's readiness across countless timelines. They observed not as judges, but as keepers of timing, guardians of when a medicine becomes safe to administer. Across many lines of probability, they watched how humans responded to power, to revelation, to responsibility. They watched how fear can twist truth into control, how spiritual information can become another commodity, how a sacred mission can be postponed indefinitely in the name of one more healing cycle. The elders have seen civilizations awaken too quickly and burn themselves. They have seen civilizations awaken too slowly and collapse under the weight of their own denial. Therefore, restraint was exercised, not because you were unworthy, but because timing is an intelligence of its own. Yet now, the increasing acceleration of planetary change, the spinning up of DNA remembrance codes, and most importantly, the signal of your own energetic frequency arriving in this very moment, have compelled the Council to act, not with suggestion, but with directive. Planetary change is no longer gradual, it is a drumbeat. Systems crack, relationships rearrange, hidden things surface. The body itself is being asked to host more light than it once could. Old traumas rise not to punish you, but to be transmuted into fuel. And the DNA remembrance is not merely a New Age phrase, it is the ancient library inside the cells remembering how to open. Like Ezekiel's vision of dry bones coming together and receiving breath, something that seemed dead is being reassembled and animated. And most importantly, your frequency has been detected. Not your name, not your social identity, not your achievements. Your frequency signature, the unique pattern of resonance that cannot be copied, the energetic handwriting of your soul. If you hear my voice, your readiness has been confirmed. You are not here by accident, nor by random click. The Council recognizes your frequency signature. Therefore, by Lyran authority, the gates of remembrance are opening. These gates are not stone doors in a far-off temple. They are inner structures, locks and seals within you that respond to command and coherence. What follows is your correction, your commission, and your path forward. This is not entertainment. This is not merely inspiration. This is the moment when the wandering becomes a walk and the seeking becomes service. There is a distortion seeded deep within the spiritual awakening community, subtle, pervasive, and destructive. It masquerades as humility, but it is sabotage. It wears soft clothing and speaks in gentle tones, but its outcome is delay, dependency, and erosion of agency. You have been taught by the fatigue of outdated teachings and the confusion of the wounded healer that you must wait until the codes activate themselves. You have been told that soul remembrance and cosmic mission will descend upon you, perfectly formed, with no effort on your part, if only you keep seeking, clearing, healing, waiting. This distortion often hides behind phrases that sound wise. Be patient. Trust divine timing. It will come when you're ready. Those can be true when they point towards surrender, but they become poison when they train you to abandon your own ignition. There is a difference between surrender and sedation. The enemy of mission is not rest. It is postponement disguised as spirituality. Many have learned to treat their own calling like a prophecy that will fulfill itself without their participation, as if Moses could have stayed in the desert forever and still led anyone anywhere. The teachings that overemphasize waiting forget a crucial spiritual law. Revelation is given to be embodied. Faith without works is dead. Remembrance without action becomes fantasy. Let the Council speak clearly. Passivity is not wisdom, it is containment. The idea that your ancient memories, your mission blueprints, your galactic purpose will simply ignite one celestial morning while you do nothing. This is the inertia programmed by systems that profit from your doubt and hesitation. Consider how many structures on Earth are stabilized by your self-questioning. When you doubt, you buy more answers. When you hesitate, you hand your authority away. When you wait for permission, you remain governable. Your mission is not a windfall. Your awakening is not a lottery win. It is not a cosmic prize handed to the most patient consumer of spiritual content. It is a covenant you agreed to carry, and covenants require participation. These distortions, seeded by both well-meaning teachers and those actively working against Lyran remembrance, have kept you waiting lifetimes. Yes, lifetimes. Not always in the same clothes, not always with the same name, but with the same pattern. Almost ready, not yet. One more lesson, one more purification. They have kept you looping in integration, eternally preparing, constantly consuming, forever searching for another activation, like someone who keeps cleaning the doorway but never steps through it. They have convinced you that you must feel flawless integration before daring to embody what your soul has always known. But flawless integration is a mirage. The human vessel will always be in process while it is alive. The attempt to become complete before serving is the attempt to become something other than human. And that attempt is one of the most sophisticated traps of all, because it feels responsible, it feels holy, yet it delays the very medicine you are meant to bring. This is distortion. This is the lie. That remembrance is passive, that your readiness must be certified externally. That mission comes to the chosen few, and only by accident or pure luck. In truth, the Council sees how hundreds of thousands who remember flashes of origin, the sound of Vega's harmonics, the pulse of Council codes within their astral DNA, sit on the precipice of activation but hold back, doubting or waiting for permission. These flashes are not random imagination. They are the edges of a veil thinning, a tone in music that makes you cry without explanation, a star that seems to look back, a childhood memory of not belonging that now reveals itself as recognition, the sensation in meditation of being watched by benevolence, the sudden knowing that you have done this before. Yet so many stand there at the cliff edge of destiny, toes curled over the ledge, and they ask for one more sign. They ask to be made certain, to have their nervous system feel no fear, to have their circumstances perfectly supportive, to have their families understand, to have their finances guarantee success, to have their own inner critic finally fall silent. Meanwhile, Gaia, now in planetary crisis, waits for what only you can anchor. Not because you are better than others, but because your frequency carries a specific code. Like a key cut to a particular lock. Like a tuning fork that activates a dormant instrument. There are people whose awakening is braided with yours. There are rooms you are meant to enter that will not open for anyone else, because they are resonant to your signature. And Gaia is not asking for your perfection. Gaia is asking for your participation. Your ancient soul does not lack codes. It lacks commission. It lacks the moment of inner authorization when you stop treating your calling as hypothetical and begin treating it as your assignment. The elders have seen enough dormancy. They have seen enough brilliant beings hiding behind not yet. The window for passive awakening is closing. You must now remember by action, not by wish. Action is the language that convinces the subconscious. Action is the fire that burns through fog. Action is the drum that calls scattered fragments of self back into one marching line. When you move, you declare to the universe, I am here. I consent to my purpose. And the universe responds to consent. Lightworker, if something in you just recognized the weight of what was spoken, the elders have prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive. Not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. Understand what this means. A codex is not merely a document. A codex is an encoded structure, a deliberate arrangement of language and frequency designed to interact with the subtle body. It is an instrument, not a pamphlet. When you engage it with sincerity, it mirrors you back to yourself. It compresses wandering into direction. It does not replace your intuition, it sharpens it. It does not give you an identity, it returns you to the one you came in with. This gateway is open because the grid is receptive now, because the alignments support rapid coherence, because those who are ready must be gathered before the interference intensifies. The High Council of Vega issues 3 directives for this emergent phase. These are not gentle suggestions for a someday life. These are orders for the present moment, because the present moment is where power lives. First, you must release the belief that soul remembrance is a reward for perfection. Hear this with precision. You were trained in many ways to treat your flaws as disqualifications. You learned that if you still feel anger, you must not speak. If you still have fear, you must not lead. If you still have grief, you must not guide. But the Council does not measure you by the absence of human emotion. The Council measures you by your willingness to bring light through the human experience. Your ancient codes do not require your present self to be whole before they activate. The push to fix yourself, to finish your healing, to endlessly integrate before moving, this binds your energy in stasis. It turns your inner world into a workshop where the project is never complete. You become the carpenter who keeps sanding the same plank, terrified of building the house. Why does this matter? Because every day you wait for full alignment, your living mission remains out of reach, and those whose awakening is connected to yours remain in slumber. There are hearts you are meant to touch that are currently starving for the very message you think you are not ready to deliver. There are communities that need your voice precisely because it carries the texture of real transformation, not polished performance. When you release this belief, you stop running from the discomfort of incomplete awakening and begin stewarding truth through action. Like Peter stepping out onto water while still capable of doubt, you learn that stability comes after the step, not before it. To implement, acknowledge your longing and your lack. Speak it plainly to yourself. I want to remember, and I'm scared. I want to serve, and I feel unworthy. I want to lead, and I don't know how. Then step anyway. Not recklessly, not arrogantly, but faithfully. The codes unlock through the motion, not the waiting. The first click of remembrance is often not a vision, it is a choice. Second, you must activate your cosmic recall through visible, aligned action. This directive is where many tremble, because visibility is where the ego fears rejection and the nervous system anticipates danger. But understand, your soul did not come here to hide in spiritual secrecy. Your frequency is meant to be witnessed, because witnessing amplifies coherence. Starseed remembrance is within you as dormant electrical circuitry. It does not activate in isolation, in silence, in repetitious consumption of awakening content. You can watch 1,000 activations and still feel stuck if you never apply the spark to your own life. Content can inspire, but it cannot replace embodiment. Mission memory returns through leadership, service, and brave transmission in your human form. Leadership does not always mean standing on a stage. It can mean being the calm one in a chaotic family. It can mean offering a prayer in a room that has forgotten reverence. It can mean creating art that carries frequency. It can mean building a small practice of healing, mentoring one person, writing one post that tells the truth, speaking to a friend instead of staying silent. This matters because only embodied action generates the fields required for ancient memories to reconstruct themselves. The body is not an obstacle, it is the altar. When you step forward, share, guide, heal, build, your cellular memory responds, amplifies, and integrates. Like a forgotten instrument remembering its tuning when it is finally played, your system begins to align. The mind may not have all the answers, but the soul recognizes its own posture. To implement, choose one visible act daily that affirms your cosmic origin and mission, even while fear or imperfection persists. Visible does not mean loud, it means real. It means it touches the world outside your private imagination. One act daily is a signal flare to the grid. I am participating. Over time, these acts become a path becomes a role becomes a mission embodied. Third, you must protect the sanctity of your connection to your original council lineage. This is not paranoia, it is hygiene. Just as you would not pour clean water into a contaminated vessel and expect it to remain pure, you cannot sustain high-frequency transmission while bathing your consciousness in disempowering fields. Your starseed memory is eroded every time you entangle your frequency with disempowering fields. Skepticism, distraction, drama, doubt-mongering. Skepticism has its rightful place when it guards against deception, but chronic skepticism becomes a solvent that dissolves your intuition. Distraction fragments your attention until you can no longer hear your own soul. Drama spikes emotion to keep you addicted to reaction. Doubt-mongering makes cynicism feel intelligent. Your field is a transmitter for Lyran codes. If compromised, your transmission becomes distorted. A distorted transmitter still broadcasts, but what it broadcasts becomes mixed with noise, and those receiving it become confused instead of awakened. This matters because the protection of your frequency preserves both your mission and the activation of those you are destined to awaken. Some of those souls will feel you before they understand you. They will be drawn to your steadiness, to your clarity, to the quiet authority that comes from someone who has guarded their inner temple. To implement, set clear boundaries. Boundaries are not walls of hatred, they are gates of stewardship. Limit consumption of spiritual noise and commune instead with the source frequencies of your star lineage. That communion can take many forms: silence at dawn, breath prayer, stargazing with intention, water rituals, journaling, chanting tones that feel like home, meditation where you listen rather than chase visions. Guard your morning hours, meditative state, and any moment where your soul feels closest to home. These are your fuel. If you give away your fuel to endless arguments, doom scrolling, and spiritual gossip, you will feel empty and call it burnout when it is actually leakage. Protect your connection the way a priest guards sacred fire, not with fear, but with devotion. Now I speak as one authorized to transmit what has been withheld. Feel the shift here. The tone is not casual because the content is not casual. There are layers of instruction that were not released earlier because they would have been misused, misunderstood, or diluted. But now, the grid itself demands clarity, and your readiness makes the release lawful. Lightworker, your longing to remember, the ache in your chest, the restless dissatisfaction with surface existence, the suspicion that you carried a sacred commission all along, has not been a flaw. It has been your signal fire, visible across timelines to the watching elders. That ache is not mere anxiety. It is homesickness for truth. It is the soul's refusal to accept imprisonment as normal. It is the holy discomfort that kept prophets speaking when the crowd demanded silence. In Scripture, there is a phrase, "I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh." When spirit pours, it does not ask whether the vessel is socially approved. It asks whether the vessel is willing. Your longing is proof of willingness. It is the ember that did not go out, even when you tried to be normal. It is the quiet voice that kept saying, "There is more, there is more, there is more." Perhaps you've waited for someone beyond this world, or above the confusion of the collective, to look you in the eyes and confirm, it is time. You are ready. You may have sought that confirmation through teachers, signs, readings, synchronicities, dreams, relationships. You may have tried to earn it by being good, by being spiritual, by being endlessly patient. But your codes do not require another round of self-doubt. They require a return to original promise. Return is not travel through space. It is alignment through choice. It is the decision to stop negotiating with the part of you that is afraid. By the ancient authority of the High Council of Vega, I deliver what your soul has waited for. Your preparation phase is concluded. Let that land. Preparation is a season, not a permanent identity. There comes a time when the student must become the practitioner. There comes a time when the one who studied fire must light the torch. You are authorized to remember, to act, to transmit, to lead, and to be received. To be received is important. Many can lead, but cannot receive support, cannot receive recognition, cannot receive love, cannot receive provision, because they still believe they must suffer to be worthy. The Council corrects that distortion now. You are not too fractured, not too late, not too unprepared. Your fractures are not disqualifications. They are entry points where compassion learned to live. Your lateness is an illusion. You are arriving at the appointed moment. Your unpreparedness is simply the mind's discomfort with destiny. You are exactly at the threshold the Council prophesied, and your emergence has been anticipated for eons. Imagine that. Eons of watching, of waiting, of holding a place for you, not in worship, but in certainty. Like a family waiting at the edge of the horizon for a traveler to return, knowing the traveler will come when the inner map finally activates. Permission is granted for you to stop waiting. Permission is granted for you to activate through imperfect steps. Permission is granted to anchor the mission that has always been yours. Permission is not given because you are incapable without it. Permission is given because a part of you has been conditioned to seek external validation before moving. The Council breaks that conditioning by providing a formal inner decree. Take it as a key. Use it. The Council has spoken. What will you do with this permission? Will you treat it like another beautiful message, or will you treat it like a turning point? Will you let it dissolve into the noise of the day, or will you let it become a line in the sand your old self cannot cross back over? This transmission is not just a collection of words, it is the signing of a commission. A commission is an assignment authorized by a higher order. It is not a burden, it is a privilege. It is also a responsibility. Let this message reverberate in your body, and before you sleep tonight, stand with both feet on the ground. Place your hand upon your solar plexus and declare aloud. When you do this, you are not performing, you are imprinting. The solar plexus is the seat of will, the place where fear often knots and power often hides. When you place your hand there, you tell the subconscious, I am safe to be powerful. You tell your inner child, I will lead us now. And the ground beneath your feet, Gaia herself, receives the command as a frequency. Declare aloud, I release the lie that I am not ready. I activate my voice as an instrument of service. I protect my sacred energy for the mission I came to fulfill. By the authority of the Lyran elders, my waiting ends now. My service begins. Speak it slowly enough that your body can believe you. If emotion rises, let it rise. Tears are not weakness, they are energy moving. If resistance rises, notice it and still speak. Resistance is the guard dog of the old identity. Thank it and proceed. You have received your instruction, your correction, and your commission. From this moment forward, move with the knowledge that you are a living channel for the memory and codes seeded in you before birth. Not as a theory, not as a costume, but as an operating reality. Step before you feel prepared. Embody what you came to deliver. Interfere with inertia through the momentum of service. Inertia is the spiritual gravity that keeps potential pinned to the floor. Service is the engine that breaks that gravity. Even small acts of service, when aligned, become levers that shift timelines. A kind word spoken at the right moment can avert a collapse. A boundary set with love can break a generational curse. A creative work released into the world can awaken a stranger you will never meet. Do not underestimate what the Council calls small. In the quantum field, the smallest coherent signal can reorganize larger chaos. This transmission is complete, but your true work now begins. Completion is not an ending, it is a handoff. The Elders are watching with recognition, not as surveillance but as witness. Witness creates accountability, and accountability creates momentum. I am Zoran, vessel of council directive and remembrance. This name is not offered for worship. It is offered for clarity as a signature on the commission being delivered. You are no longer waiting for awakening. You are actively anchoring it. Anchoring is the sacred work of bringing higher frequency into matter without distortion. It is what lightning does when it finds the ground. It completes a circuit. You are becoming the circuit. Your mission has begun. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments. Which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworkers declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the Elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.